Hi, this is JR. This is a 2019 Vegas, Thor Vegas. This one is a 27.7, and after driving it a couple of times and getting caught in the weather, I'm not happy that they don't have defrosters on the side windows. It's treacherous, you can't see your mirrors, and the defrosters up front are of no help. So this is my hack. I'm going to install those. Nice adjustable vent in the side here. I basically arranged it so that from where I sit, the center of that will be aimed directly at the path, my visual path to the mirror. And I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. And again, they're going to be about the same distance, but they're going to be aimable at the visual path between the mirror and myself. Now, I've done quite a bit of scouting and surveying, and I don't think it's practical to disrupt the sealed unit that they have installed up front. I don't want to bother the seal that they have. So if it doesn't bother you that these are going to run off of your dash vents, then this is the hack you want to do. If you want to cut up your dash in the front, the sealed unit, that's your business. I don't think it's a good idea. I think this is going to satisfy what I need. If you close these dash vents off, there's going to be quite a bit of air coming out of those, and it's going to defrost those side windows very quickly. So if you have to divert from your front defrosters to the side ones I'm going to install, I don't think it's a problem. At the end or somewhere, I will provide the part numbers of what I'm using to do this. Basically, the first thing I did was locate this is what I call the center line between the visual center line between this, and it also kind of coincides with my sight path. So I marked that. This is the size of the vent itself, and the red part is the cutout that I have that I'm going to use to trim that. I've already marked around it. I need to do a little bit of adjustment on it, but that's the cutout, and that matches up with the thick part of that. Now, the dash is the vent tubes are 2.5 inches, but it's not a big deal because these are oval. Those smash down, and we'll go over the top of that, and they're barbed, so I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I may take some Gorilla Tape and tape those on after I'm done. But my first line of business is to take and cut that out. Now, I'm also going to jump ahead here for a second and you can use a dime or whatever. This little access panel, just use a quarter of a turn, take them out with a Zeus fastener. Lo and behold, there's the feed, the hose feed that feeds that dash vent. So, if you haven't guessed by now, I'm going to tap into that. Now, to get that hose that I'm going to put in there, basically down in there to feed, there's a couple ways you could do it. I don't like. One idea would be to go down on the other side. There's plenty of hose here. I'd go down on the other side and Y off there and come up with just a small segment to feed this. But the problem is it's going to be a little fiddly underneath there, and if you ever have to get to the back of the light switch and stuff, you're going to have to deal with those hoses. I didn't really want to do that. So what I've done is I have marked that, and I'm going to cut that out with a 2.5 inch hole saw or something thereabouts. And if that doesn't work, I'll just take a saw. If you can look at it carefully, you can see that there is nothing underneath here. So there's no screws coming up for that to provide extra support. And all I need to do is cut a little bit around that to get that hose in here anyway. So I may do that. I'm going to look to see, make sure that there is absolutely nothing underneath there to cut. So, and basically the way I'm going to accomplish this is with that. It is an automotive air conditioner Y. It's designed for this. So basically the parts came from a source that supplies aftermarket parts to the nostalgic auto air conditioning industry. And okay, I'm going to proceed and cut my hole. Okay, I'm back. Now what I've done is I've trimmed my hole and I've fed the duct that I bought through that area there. It's pretty tight. You kind of twist it and wiggle it and hold your mouth right, and it comes in. And then I put my Y in, and notice I put screws in here. This is a very common thing for them to do with ductwork, because sometimes the pressure coming out of this is high and it'll blow the hoses off, or sometimes they just rattle and fall off, and that's very annoying. So what I'm going to do now, if I can, I don't know if I can do it one-handed or not, and I'll show you the final would be this. Pull this out a little bit from the through the dashboard. Just bends to match the oval. You have to work with it. Almost on there. If you've ever worked with this before, it's not a whole lot of fun sometimes. And there's a wire in there that they use to keep it stiff and keep it from collapsing. Okay, I don't think that's going to go anywhere. So now we just shove that down in there. There are clips on the end of that, but it needs to have screws put in it. But there is a defroster vent. Now I'll put the screws in it, and that will that'll hold that. And you're probably wondering, does that work? I've got to do the passenger side yet, but I've got quite a few of them. This on vent. It's on vent. Oh yeah. See it blowing things around. I think it's going to be just fine. I just had a piece of paper by my hand here. Not that. I can find something flimsy to flap around. But trust me, there's a good amount of air coming out of that. You can hear it. Rushing to get out of there. Got most of the turn off. Okay, most of the dash vents are off. So if you had a really bad situation, you need to defrost quickly. You just close all the dash vents and turn it on, and it's going to blow out of there. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's putting quite a bit of air through there. Okay, I'm happy about that. Now I need you to do this. Okay, getting ready to do the passenger side install. I've marked my my hole, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this, make this so that I can fold it under. What you don't want to do, if I understand upholstery, is you don't want to flatten that down. Then you'll end up with not enough upholstery. And if I'm not mistaken, it feels like there is plywood under there. So just a little bit of upholstery, some plywood. So it'll be a little bit easier to finagle. Okay. Let me pull this back and see what got under there. Okay. I got this trim back and I got the foam out of there. And I've drilled pilot holes in each corner. And I'll just connect those through the lines with my air saw. Okay, this is the passenger side. And the easiest thing I found to do was put the Y down there. There's plenty of hose that comes from the diverter. I cut that, and obviously it left plenty of hose for this as well. It was a little bit less slack in this side. You don't need all of it, but just to make it easy on myself, when I put the Y in, and then I left myself enough hose to pull all that down below the dash panel and install my screws, because I want to be able to make sure that this does not pull out, that the hoses do not separate from the Y, because I don't know how much back pressure there might be. So anyway, there's that, and now all I have to do is basically install the vent, put the screws down, and this will be done as well, and then I'm going to test it. Okay, this is the final. Now the passenger side's in. I got some fuchsia, sticky so you can see the air blowing through. That's the driver's side. Flow. And right now the air is cold and the windows aren't frosty, so you can't see a defrost. I have this dash vent is closed. Open that up a little bit. You know, it's obviously it's diverting a little bit of the air, but I think it's worth it. I'm gonna probably leave, since I'm not gonna have a co-pilot most of the time. I'm going to leave that vent closed and this vent closed. Actually, that made it blow. Interesting. Wow. You don't know why. For some reason, we opened that up. Huh. Okay. I like it. I think that's going to blow enough air on there to handle about any problem I'm ever going to have. So that's it. That's the hack. I will probably come back and add the part numbers and the source of this stuff. I'm going to guess right off the bat that this probably wasn't more than $100, and actually it wouldn't take so long if I weren't messing around taking pictures and stuff. So anyway, that's it. See you next time.